They're one of my favourite things in the world, and to see one of them injured or to see one of them dead is something that's going to be pretty tough, but I want to do it. My name's Daisy, and at Gauntlet Birds of Prey I am one of the falconers, so I'm involved in the training of the birds and just generally flying the birds for shows and stuff like that. From a young kid I've always flown the birds. I've always been involved with rearing the birds from being tiny, probably to the age of about 2, so growing up with it, it sort of becomes like a love and a hobby. And when looking at what I could possibly do when I was older, I never really wanted to do anything else. It's one thing that I've grown up with and something that I love so much that I wanted to keep doing it instead of going into something that I wouldn't love as much as it. You get honesty with animals and birds of prey. There's no sort of negativity between it, or relationships don't get ruined. They're just the most loving things you can possibly have. So, you know, even though you can't communicate with them sort of speaking, you can have this bond while flying a bird in the arena, and it's something that's very special, something that you zone out from the rest of the world when you're in the arena flying a bird. It's a feeling that you can't get doing anything else, personally to me. So we have a lot of different species, through to a load of different owls, going from being tiny all the way up to big massive ones that will kill things like eagles in the wild. We have got a range of eagles. There's a range of falcons that we have. They're the really cool ones, but especially the most important one being the vultures, which we have quite a lot of. The one massive thing that we try and focus on here at Gauntlet is sort of raising awareness of the situation happening with a lot of different species of vultures. There's 23 different species of vultures, and about over 70% of them may becoming extinct in the future. So we focus a lot on trying to spread awareness and giving people the information they need to hopefully try and make a difference. So this here is Terry, and he's one of our hooded vultures here at Gauntlet. The main thing that they will eat is things like beef, so ribs we feed a lot of. They will have quite a lot of stuff like chicken, anything in the wild that is meat that sort of, it could be a rotting carcass, anything like that. They will feed off it, so it's all sort of buffalo. If you've got a buffalo, they'll feed off that. Gazelles, anything that any of the animal kingdom leave and it's there, the vultures will eat it. They're the glue that holds Africa's ecosystem together. They're the main thing that, you know, they stop diseases like typhoid, rabies spreading around Africa, because they do clean up all the carcasses that are the reason why diseases may spread. So they're the most vital thing within the ecosystem of Africa, and if we don't have these, that's when it all starts to crumble. The ivory trade is obviously massive. It makes a lot of money. There are massive gangs that go out to Africa having, you know, obviously the want to be killing the elephants and rhinos. Now when they kill an elephant or rhino, the vultures will start circling above the carcass. Now if game rangers see that vulture, they potentially know that a poaching has taken place. What they do is, after they've killed the rhino or elephant, they lace the carcass with cyanide and poison so that when these vultures come down and feed off it, it kills them. There is a rehabilitation centre called Vulpro over in South Africa. We do quite a lot. We send people out every single year to be involved in this vulture conservation. For example, myself and one of my colleagues, Shannon, will be going over to Vulpro in February, and we're going to be working there. We're going to be monitoring the numbers of how many vultures we see each day, and we're going to be making sure that some of the vultures Vulpro has rescued is out in the wild safe and that nothing has happened to them. It's going to be a hard trip. Obviously I'm going to see things I don't want to see. They're one of my favourite things in the world, and to see one of them injured or to see one of them dead is something that's going to be pretty tough, but I want to do it just because obviously the more followings I get from people and watching me go out, the more awareness we're going to get, and hopefully we can do something in the future to try and save them, just because the next generation is the ones that are going to make the difference. If you teach the kids in schools and teach them from education about vultures, hopefully they might aspire when they're older to try and change the situation.